Hi, everybody. Welcome to Cracking the Spiritual Code, and I'm Randi Sands. And today we're here with Joyce Noel Kelly, and she facilitates crystal healing beds, and she actually travels with them. And Joyce, the first thing that I would like to ask you is what is a crystal healing bed?
Well, there are actually several different versions of a crystal healing bed. The one that I have comes from a little village called Abadania, Brazil, where there are these beautiful crystals that are used to create this crystal bed that was created by John of God. And he chooses the crystals depending on the purity of their vibration. They're clear quartz crystals and they line up over your chakras. So they're clear, but there's a colored light filter through each one, so they correspond with your chakras. They vibrate and pulsate at very particular vibrations and frequencies in order to clear and cleanse and balance your chakras. So not only is it working with your chakras and helping the kundalini and developing your psychic and spiritual mediumship abilities, but it's also helping you to open up to spirit. The crystals act as a vortex for spirit to come and work with you. So it just helps to amplify that spiritual energy. So you're having the physical vibration of the crystals, but you're also having the spiritual energy come and work with you. And so it's very common when people come and get a crystal healing to actually have a psychic or mediumship experience. Sometimes they have one while they're laying there. Sometimes they have one later on in the evening, either while they're by themselves and sort of quietly contemplating, or just sort of doing their activities such as washing the dishes or gardening, or maybe they'll have it when they're dreaming. It also, the healing continues after you're off the bed for the next day or two, particularly. In fact, the first time I facilitated a healing with the crystal bed, it was a woman who had sort of been dragged by her good friend. This woman was very Catholic and she was a skeptic. She didn't think anything was happening. She didn't feel anything, which I would say for about 50% of the people that come and lay with the crystal bed, they don't feel anything. They just feel relaxed. So this woman actually had a cancerous tumor on her face, and you could see it because it was black. Now, she didn't say that she wanted healing with it. She didn't, she wasn't worried about it or anything like that. But, when she got up, she said, okay, thank you. And that was it. She thought, nothing happened, but no loss. So she went to bed and she fell asleep, and she had a better sleep than she had had in a really long time. And I thought, well, that's nice. And then she says, well, when she got up and looked in the mirror, the tumor had disappeared overnight. And there was a woman who didn't even believe that it could do anything, who didn't believe anything was happening. She felt nothing. And that was the very first healing that I did with the crystal healing bed. So a lot of times people believe that the crystals are doing all the work, but it's actually spirit that's probably doing about 80% of the work. So when you're laying there, it's basically a massage table with these 7 clear quartz crystals laying above you with colored lights pulsating over all your chakras. So I sit and meditate and pray for your complete and total healing, and I do a little bit of energy work. And when the healing is finished, if there's any messages that come through from spirit, I pass those along.
Fabulous. That's fabulous. Do you have any other instances of serious healing like that?
Oh, certainly. In fact, the last healing I did here in Tampa, Florida, a woman actually had a tumor in her breast, and she hadn't told me ahead of time. But when it was finished, she said she could feel the heat and the energy in her chest area. And she came for a second healing later that week. And she told me the next day she felt the lump had reduced significantly in size, and it also didn't hurt anymore. We had another gentleman who came in with the first lady, and he had an aneurysm in his heart. And the doctors were very worried about it. He was elderly. He had already been through a lot of physical trauma with some other health issues he had had, and it just wasn't getting any better. He had one session with the crystal healing bed, and the next time he went in for the test, he was almost completely healed. So there are definitely a lot of instances of people getting better physically, which is great because, there's a lot of spiritual healing out there, and the healing can take effect in a number of ways. And a lot of times it might be emotional, it might be spiritual, and a lot of times people don't feel that physical change, but doesn't mean a healing isn't happening. But it's really great when you can see a physical healing. It's highly evidential. It doesn't happen for everybody. It has to do with, God's plan for you, your soul's higher purpose. Sometimes people need to go through something, or the people around them need to go through something. But a lot of people have had a physical healing from the crystal bed. And a lot of people also have those psychic experiences. Sometimes people really need to connect with spirit, a loved one in spirit, and that happens too, and that's kind of a spontaneous thing. But you can pray for that and ask to manifest it. Your intentions have a lot to do with your experience.
Absolutely amazing. Is there anything else that you think people should know if they've never done this before?
Well, this is the kind of thing actually that a lot of people who are already light workers or energy workers are really drawn to and benefit a lot from, because sometimes their energy just gets drained from other people, from, sometimes life is just stressful. It doesn't mean someone's a bad person if they're sucking your energy out. Maybe they're having a bad day, maybe they're going through a lot, but their energy impacts your energy. And for a lot of people who are working one-on-one, people who are counselors, people who are, maybe massage therapists or psychics, some people like you, Randi. But it's something that, a lot of people want to try just because of the novelty of it. But it really is something that, could be an ongoing part of your healing and your psychic spiritual development.
Well, hey, I've never been on one. So guess what? When I'm in Lilydale this summer, I'm getting on yours.
Sounds good. Sounds good, Randi. In fact, we will be in Hollywood. Myself and John White will be in Hollywood in April, the whole month of April. So maybe we'll come and give you a little treatment while we're there.
That would be amazing, because I'm sure we'll all see each other and get together at least for a dinner.
Sounds great.
That's awesome. Thank you for joining us, Joyce.
Thank you, Randi.
And I look forward to seeing you very soon.
Wonderful.
Thank you, sweetheart. You have an amazing day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.